Well, after all the hype and all the build-up, a sense of anticlimax hung over Anfield after the final whistle here tonight. It certainly failed to live up to its billing. It finished here Liverpool 0, Bayern Munich 0 in the first leg of that Champions League last 16 tie. In truth, Liverpool didn't deserve really to head to Bavaria with a lead in the tie. They were far from their fluent best. I know Klopp was asked yesterday, what's better, to have the 10-day rest or to have the rhythm of playing regularly, and he said, let's wait and see what happens on Tuesday night. And unfortunately, I think the answer was there, because Liverpool were disjointed tonight. Bayern, I think you've got to give them a huge amount of credit. There's been a lot of talk in the build-up about the problems they've had, them being not the force that they were domestically. Of course, they're playing catch-up in the Bundesliga to Dortmund currently, and they've had defensive issues, but they were very well drilled and well organised here tonight. They didn't try and force it. Their game plan was very clear, to stifle and stop Liverpool from really building up any momentum. And they did that. Very rare that you see Liverpool go through 90 minutes at Anfield and create as little as they did here tonight. Just 2 shots on target across the 90 minutes, and it was just a frustrating performance all round. I think Liverpool started really slowly. It was strange to see the first 20-25 minutes, because I thought they stood off Bayern. I was expecting Liverpool to really fly at them and unsettle Bayern, especially with how Didi Hamann had described Bayern as fragile going into this game because of their results domestically. But Liverpool, I think they showed them too much respect. I think Liverpool were also really sloppy in possession in that opening quarter of the game. Looked nervy. And that allowed Bayern to grow into it. And then Liverpool had a really good 15-20 minute spell before half time, where they started to click. They started to play with a better tempo and intensity, and had a few chances. Mane should really have opened the scoring. Salah had a header at the back post. There was a few other half chances that came along. Matip turned one wide as well from close range. But it felt like the interval came at a bad time for Liverpool, because second half they struggled to get going again. It was very, very stop-start. They huffed and they puffed, but created very, very little. The front three, it's rare you see them as quiet as they were here tonight. And there was no real late cavalry charge. Klopp brought on Milner, he brought on Divock Origi, but apart from one flying header from Sadio Mane that Manuel Neuer turned wide, it was far too easy for Bayern. They got the draw that they came for. They celebrated it at the final whistle. Whether that will be as good a result as they think it is, we'll have to wait and see what happens in Bavaria in 3 weeks' time. But I wouldn't be unduly concerned. I think it certainly was a far from polished Liverpool performance, but 0-0 is not the end of the world. When you think as well, let's put it into context in terms of that was Liverpool without Virgil van Dijk. I thought Fabinho was absolutely outstanding at centre-half tonight, made some big tackles, big interceptions in the right place at the right time and time again. In front of him, I thought Jordan Henderson, I gave him man of the match. I thought him and Fabinho were Liverpool's 2 best players. A real captain's performance from Henderson, used the ball well, put in such a tireless shift as well in terms of shutting down space and winning the ball back. And that clean sheet could prove to be very vital come March the 13th at the Allianz Arena, because for a start, Virgil van Dijk will be back, and it will be a different Liverpool team that takes to the field. Of course, they'll have Fabinho back in midfield, where there's no question he's more effective. And I think crucially as well, Bayern will have to show more ambition than they did here tonight. On home turf, they'll have to come out and play, and then that should suit Liverpool. We've seen them, what they can do on the counter-attack in Europe when the front three are really firing. So I think Bayern have only lost 2, I think, of their last 28 home Champions League games, but Liverpool don't need to go there and win. A score draw would do it. So there's all to play for. I think I was expecting an open game tonight, and I thought Liverpool would cause Bayern a lot more problems than they did. I think tonight was a timely reminder about Bayern's European pedigree and the wealth of experience they've got. They're a tough nut to crack, but despite the disappointment that lingered here after the final whistle, Liverpool are still in a decent position, and that European dream is still very much alive.